Welcome everybody to Train Tuesday. So glad you could join us. If you're catching us on the live, hey, thanks for joining us here tonight on this Tuesday. This is pre-recorded, so we won't be doing any shout outs tonight. Now, if you are catching us on our YouTube channel, thank you. And if you enjoy the content that you're seeing, please do us a favor and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified of new videos that drop into the feed. Tonight we're going to be talking about Athen Genesis locomotives, freight cars, as well as Athen HO scale box cars. So I got a full product list of things for you here to talk about tonight. Now, one reminder, you have till Friday, September 1st to place your pre-orders with your preferred Athen dealer. These are going to go just like summer, very quickly. So without further ado, let's talk about our first item up for review, the Athen Genesis Early Challengers. Now, this picture that you see here, this is from a former release from a couple of years ago. We wanted to offer some new road numbers for you, but first, a little bit of background on these locomotives. Now, Alco constructed the first 4664 locomotives in the world, numbered 3900 to 3914, for the Union Pacific Railroad in 1936. Now, these huge engines were named the Challenger Simple Articulated, or CSA-1 class. The railroad received 25 near copies, classified as CSA-2 the following year. Unlike compound mallet locomotives that crawled along with drag freights, the Challengers had two sets of high-pressure cylinders and could safely reach passenger train speeds. Now, the Mammoth locomotives also had a heavy-duty starting tractive effort of 97,400 pounds. Originally constructed to haul fast freight up the famous Wasatch Grade, the CSA-1 and the CSA-2 Challengers would hold a variety of assignments over their long careers, including passenger service. Depending upon their operating territory, they burned either coal or oil, and some locomotives were converted back and forth several times. So, like I said, here is one that we offered a few years back. Probably will not find this easily on hobby shop shelves. So if you like one of these locomotives that I'm about to show you, make sure to talk to your dealer about these. So let's talk about what we're going to be offering this month for pre-order. At the top of your screen there, you see Union Pacific number 3820. This is a class CSA-2. It has a Worthington feed water heater, large sand dome, covered vertical bar pilot, walkway hump, no steam pipe to the front cylinders, blackened metal side rods, satin paint finish, and this one's an oil burner. Represents a locomotive from the 1940s. Likewise, locomotive number 3823, seen below, is a class CSA-2. This one has an Alesco feed water heater, a large sand dome, covered vertical bar pilot, walkway hump, no steam pipe to the front cylinders, blackened metal side rods, satin paint finish, and an oil burner as well. Again, eras 1940s on up. Going back a little bit further, we've got 3907. This is actually a class CSA-1 with a Worthington feed water heater, standard sand dome, boiler tube pilot with wide handrails, no walkway hump, steam pipe to front cylinders, blackened metal rods, satin paint finish, and this one's a coal burner representative of a locomotive as it appeared in 1936. Likewise, number 3911, seen just below it, is also a CSA-1. This one's going to have a Worthington feed water heater, standard sand dome, boiler tube pilot with wide handrails, no walkway hump, steam pipe to front cylinders, blackened metal side rods, satin pipe finish, and this too is a coal burner, and it is also 1936 on up. Now, the last two that we have here, these are kind of interesting locomotives. These were based on research photos that the Athen crew found. First up is 3938. It is a class CSA-2 with a Worthington feed water heater, standard sand dome, boiler tube pilot with wide handrails, no walkway hump, no steam pipe to the front cylinders, It features an unpainted metal side rods and glossy paint finish to represent a freshly serviced and clean locomotive. Now, this special paint scheme with white walkway and wheel tires was a coal burner. And Athearn research photos dated back to August of 1937 shows this loco with white walkways and wheel tires. We are unsure how long it lasted in this, guys, but the effect is certainly striking on this big steamer. This, again, we're looking at photos that date to 1937. Coming up next is UP 3939. This too is a CSA2 with a Worthington feed water heater, standard sand dome, boiler tube pilot with wide handrails, no walkway hump, no steam pipe to the front cylinders, unpainted metal side rods, and a glossy paint finish again to show a recently cleaned and finished locomotive. This one's an oil burner, and Athearn has research photos that are dated to 1937, most likely UP publicity photos. Um, this may have been part of the photographer's special of 12 UP 40-foot boxcars. It's also the last CSA2 Challenger built, and it represents as it appeared in 1937. So some of the features of this locomotive. First of all, you can get this with or without the Tsunami 2 sound decoder. The choice is yours. We'll talk about the prices on those in just a moment. They are going to include illuminated number boards and headlights. Those come on automatically with track power. That's not a function key. That's actually, they come on with track power. But you also have an illuminated directional backup light on the tender, correctly operated eccentric cranks. The top cab vent and the cab windows are adjustable to your liking. Current pickup on all drivers and wheels. Synchronized chuff, whistle, bell, blowdown, air compressor, dyno, and pop-off valve sounds. Of course, that's standard if you go with the Tsunami 2 decoder installed. Also, you're going to have user-controlled whistle, short whistle, bell, squeal, coupler crash, injector, water stop, and a light dimmer. Individually applied detail parts that will come with this locomotive include a brass painted bell and whistle, piping, valves, generator, steps, air pump, air tanks, reverser, and a coupler lift bar. Also of note, the front coupler pocket can be inserted to mount an operating coupler. This does have dual speakers, so it's going to have great sound quality. And the upgraded headlight with a much better LED versus the older ones that we did a few years back with incandescent. And the minimum radius on these monster locomotives, 22 inches. That is the best looking minimum radius that you're going to want to use on a locomotive like this. Now, MSRP on these, if you get them DC without the sound, they are $529.99. If you spring for the Tsunami 2 decoder, they're going to be $629.99. Now, keep in mind, that is full MSRP. If you want to know what your price is, we highly suggest you contact your Athearn dealer, and that way you're assured of your price for these locomotives. Well, coming up next, this is pretty exciting. We talked about this a little bit on Friday's announcement. And also, I kind of teased you guys by putting this out there on social media. A lot of people were guessing as to which well container cars these were. A few of you actually got them right. These, of course, are the Athen Genesis Gunderson Maxi Stack 2 well cars. Now, the Gunderson Maxi Stack 2 well cars are often overlooked, but are an important part of intermodal history, and examples are still in use today. One must have a keen eye to spot these cars versus the evolution of the design, the Maxi Stack 3 well car. So a little history on these cars. In the beginning, well cars were designed with a superstructure to hold a stacked container. As interbox connectors, or IBC, became the industry favored method of connecting containers, the additional structural bulkheads were thus eliminated to increase carrying capacity. Gunderson's Maxi Stack 1 well cars are essentially the earlier twin stack containers with the bulkheads removed. By the late 1980s and into the early 1990s, international container traffic was still limited, with more emphasis being the expanding domestic container traffic, which were not restricted to the 20 or 40-foot lengths. The Maxi 2 became an experimental design, which wasn't just a stretching of a Maxi 1 design, but a new lighter frame and 125-ton intermediate trucks that would allow an even heavier container load. There was a drawback, however. The well cars were strongest near the end and were too light in the middle to carry 20-foot containers. The compromise was to keep the 40-foot end wells, which were reinforced to also carry 20-foot containers, while making 3 intermediate wells long enough to accommodate the popular 48-foot containers. This was seen to maximize the flexibility of intermodal container transportation. Now, Southern Pacific is credited with the first adapter of double stack intermodal traffic. Containers allowed moving more tonnage quickly and efficiently on their single track Sunset route from Los Angeles to New Orleans. They were the only Class 1 railroad to purchase the Maxi 2, buying 20 of the 5-car sets in 1989. These early style wells feature visible brake and train line hoses that run along the top of the well car side frames. The large flat sides of these cars were decorated with large double-stack 125 service lettering referencing the 125-ton carrying capacity of the well cars. Trailer Train purchased twice as many Maxi 2 well car sets as the Southern Pacific, and these cars differed from the original SP cars in that additional stiffeners were added along the well car sides. These both added to the overall strength, but also protected the well car sides while containers were being loaded as the brake and train lines still ran along the top chord of the well cars. Now, Greenbrier Leasing owned a single demonstrator car which entered service in 1989 and was later sold to TTX and repainted. Now, we're going to show you which roads that we're going to feature this month, but let's talk a little bit about these brand new cars, brand new tooling in the Genesis line, and the features that they will have. So here's a great shot. These are 3D renderings sent to us by product development, and this is going to show us some of the details that are going to be included on these models. First of all, they're going to feature heavy cast metal frames. That way they are reliable performance whether they are loaded or empty. That die cast weight close to the rails just makes them track so much better. They're going to feature etched stainless steel walkway platforms, separately applied brake and train line details, separately applied bent wire grab irons, and also you're going to see animated roller bearings on both the 70 and 125-ton trucks. Something else that's kind of neat, rubber intercar train line hoses. You're going to see that on these cars. And there's the brake detail that we were talking about earlier. These are all going to feature that detail, and these are going to be the most detailed well cars that Athen has ever done. Quite an ambitious project. We've been looking forward to releasing these. Pre-orders on these close on the end of the day, Friday, September 1st. Now let's talk about the car roads that we are announcing for this run. So first up, this is Trailer Train 73049. This is a 1990s era car. It's indicative of how they appeared in the 1990s. This is just the one Trailer Train version that we're doing. We're also going to be doing another version. This is a slightly different version of the Trailer Train. This is car number 73045. This is also a 1990s era car. We talked about the SP, so we are offering the double stack SP version like we talked about. This is a car based as it appeared in 1988. This is car number 513371. 1988 into the 90s. So if you're modeling the earlier days of intermodal, these are the cars that you're going to want to pick up. And this one's really neat. This is the Greenbrier Leasing. Now, this is Greenbrier Leasing car number 1988. It came like this in 1989. Now, the thing about this is in-service photos of the Greenbrier Leasing Soul 5-unit car demonstrator numbered 1988 have eluded us thus far. So presented here is our best educated guess as to what it may have looked like. Now, that being said, if you have pictures of this elusive freight car, by all means, please send us an email. Now, you can send that email with your sources of information and photographs, to Athern-product suggestions at athern.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that email link in the description so that you know, but you can also go to our website to contact us, fill out that form, and in the drop-down menu that asks you what can we help you with, there is a section there that you can select for product suggestions. Now, once again, the MSRP, this is full retail, is $279.99 for the 5-car set. Again, your price will vary because of your Athern dealer. I have seen a lot of comments online saying that's a lot of money for a freight car. Well, keep in mind, this is a 5-car unit set. In the real prototype world, this is a 1-car articulated. But if we look at it as 5 Genesis models together, then you can see where we came up with that price. So like I said, brand new tooling. We're really excited about these cars. You have until Friday, September 1st to pre-order these cars. All right, and we're going to finish tonight's program with the Athen HO box cars that I was talking about. These are the Athen 50-foot ACF outside post box cars. Now for this run, these cars have been around since the 60s. So we wanted to do a little bit of everything. We've got some cars from the 2010s, the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s, and we even got one that goes all the way back to the 60s. Let's talk about these. They're going to be coming in a various different ways to order these. Here you can see we've got something from 2010. This is Union Pacific. Car that is featured here is available as a single. It's car number 152950. Now, if you like these 2010 Union Pacific cars, we're also offering these cars in 2 separate 3-car sets. Of course, they're all going to have different road numbers. 3-car set number 1 is going to include car numbers 152917, 152942, and car number 152950. Car set number 2, also a 3-pack, is going to include card numbers 152953, 152981, and 152991. So there's an opportunity for you to stock up on some modern box cars. They come decorated just like what you see here, and they are going to be perfect for you modern era modelers. For you guys that are modeling the mid-90s into the 2000s, we're also going to offer the rail box in a similar situation. We're going to offer these as a single, as you see here, car number 35898, as well as 2 3-packs. Now those 3-packs are available separately, and Railbox 3-pack number 1 will include car numbers 36027, 36066, 36100, and the Railbox 3-car set box number 2 will include road numbers 36111, 36148, and 36226. So again, if you're modeling the 1990s into the 2000s, Railbox cars are extremely popular. This is a great way to add this modern car to your fleet. Going back into the 1970s, we've got the Santa Fe. Now, the Santa Fe car that you're seeing here is representative of a car as it appeared in 1979, so perfectly acceptable to run this car if you're an 80s modeler. We're offering this as 3 different singles. The car pictured here is 15651, but we're also offering car numbers 15670 and 15679. Got a couple of here for you, some different era cars. We're going to start with St. Mary's Railroad there at the top, that flashy orange paint scheme. It's a 1966 era paint scheme. We're offering this as 3 different singles. Pictured here is car number 4102, but we're also offering 4128 and 4240. Fans of the 1980s and are going to want to pick up the Missouri Pacific that I'm showing here. This is how it appeared in 1980. This is car number 3666675. We're also going to offer 2 other single Missouri Pacific box cars. Car numbers 366777 as well as 367085. And then finally, we're going to go to 1977. So if you're modeling the 1970s into the 1980s, we've got 2 for you here. The Apalachicola Northern. I always I always botch that one. It's Apalachicola, sorry, Northern. And this is 1977 plus. So if you're modeling late 70s into the 80s, this is perfectly acceptable. This is going to be available as 3 different singles as well. Pictured here is 5037, but we're also going to have in this run car numbers 5089 and 5129. And staying in 1977 and going throughout the 80s, we've got this cool family line system boxcar. We have shown here 51425, as well as we will offer 51459 and 5311. So a little bit about the features on these cars. These are great operator cars because they have just enough detail to satisfy most modelers, but not so delicate that you can't use them in a prototype operating session or a Fremo meet or things of that nature. They're all going to feature 70-ton roller bearing trucks, separately applied brake wheel, body mounted McHenry operating scale knuckle couplers, 33-inch machined metal wheels with the RP25 contours. Of course, they're going to be weighted for optimum performance, highly detailed injection molded body, painted and printed for realistic decoration. And folks with small layouts, take notice, minimum radius on these is 18 inches. They will run on everything from the smallest shelf layout to your 4x8 layout to your large club layouts. They are very adaptable. Now, MSRP on these cars, if you go for the individual cars, they're $34.99 each. If you go for the 2 3-packs that we're offering, whether it be Union Pacific or Railbox, they are going to be $87.99. Again, that is full MSRP, so contact your dealer for your price. Now, again, you're going to have until Friday, September 1st to place your pre-orders. Now, contact your dealer because, like summer, these August announcements will be gone very soon. So with that, I hope you enjoyed tonight's recording of Train Tuesday. Don't forget, we're going to be in Texas in about a couple of weeks now. Athen will have a booth at the National Train Show, so stop by and see the many items that are available at your hobby shop now, as well as some other surprises. I've heard that there's going to be a new release that's going to be announced at the show, so you're not going to want to miss that. And like always, I want everybody out there to be happy, be healthy, do some good modeling, and above all, high greens.